Hello. I'm going to talk today about the events in Paris in January 2015, the massacre in the offices of Charlie Hebdo, the French publication, and I'm going to look at the origins of those cartoons in Charlie Hebdo, and also other people who have risked their lives for the sake of free speech. And I'm going to start now. We will all recall the massacre in Paris in January 2015 of 12 people. Most of the editorial team of the French satirical publication Charlie Hebdo perished in that attack. We should also remember that Charlie Hebdo had been threatened by Islamic fundamentalists for some time. In fact, it was under protection. Alas, not enough, because the bodyguard of the editor-in-chief was also killed in that attack. But the lampooning of the Prophet Muhammad and the subsequent anger and demonstration by Muslims goes back a bit further. In fact, it goes back to 2005 in Denmark. In Denmark at that time, a daily newspaper, Danish daily newspaper, decided to publish 12 cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. This led to widespread protests, outrage, and even deaths. The editor of Charlie Hebdo, Stéphane Charbonnier, decided in 2006 to reprint those cartoons, and to do so out of solidarity for the Danish colleagues. And so Charlie Hebdo began lampooning and satirizing Islam, and many other subjects too, it should be said, and other religions. Indeed, the editor of the Danish daily paper was particularly shocked by the attack on Charlie Hebdo. No cartoon, he said, is worth a life, and rightly so. Now the growing concern too, in Europe but also elsewhere, the big debate, if you like, is the whole notion of free speech and satire. Is there any limitation to free speech? Are there any taboo subjects? Now here I think that all free-thinking people must allow all subjects to be satirized, whether they like them or not. All subjects and all people are therefore fair game, even if the criticism is offensive. In fact, the consequences of speaking out, saying what you think, have led in the past to death threats. One very famous one, of course, the fatwa on Salman Rushdie, the author, who had to go into hiding for many years. Also the death of Theo van Gogh, the Dutch filmmaker. He was shot in 2004, we remember, for producing a film about violence against women in Islam. Now we're facing what some people have called grievance fundamentalism, the right not to be offended. So here is our big question then. Should free speech have limits? The answer must emphatically be no. Another question arises. What about Muslim Europe? Are events like this part of some struggle between Western democracies and extreme Islam? Again, the answer should be no. But it is now time to look at ways of preventing more such attacks. We know that the perpetrators in this case had been trained in Yemen and returned to France. So one solution could be stop them leaving in the first place. But if they do go to Syria, Yemen, or wherever to train in terrorist activities, then do not let them back into the country. Now, France and some other countries are now doing just that. They are intercepting those returnees from their terrorist training. Not easy to put into practice, however. There is free movement in the European Union. We have Schengen. This means it's very easy for people to move from one country that they've got into in the European Union to another. What does this mean? Is there a wider implication? We have 28 members, 28 member states. It's very difficult, therefore, for everyone to agree and the same stringent rules applied everywhere. Border checks, therefore, should they come back? Should we get rid of Schengen? That would be taking a step back in EU policy, but my answer to that is yes, we certainly should. Schengen has no place anymore, in my opinion. Thank you.